Welcome back to another episode of We Gonna Talk. Today I got a special guest, a good friend of mine, Miss Latoya Broadus. Is it Broadus or Brodus?
Either way, it depends on where you in the north or if you're in the south. In the south, they say Broadus. In the north, we say
She
Broadus.
be lying, acting like she related to Snoop Dogg, but we know she not.
That's my cousin.
But anyway, we're interviewing her today. As you know, I want my page to be something that's informative and educational for our people. And the reason why I'm interviewing Toya today is because she is a breast cancer survivor.
I thought it was because I'm beautiful.
Nah. I told you about thinking. You and that thinking shit, don't you know? But she has a very interesting story. When I first met her, I didn't even know that she had cancer until one day we was sitting around, and I think she asked for a drink or something and kind of looked at her crazy. She's like, I got cancer. And how you gonna tell somebody no when they tell you that? That's what made me see what kind of person she was. Like right at the beginning, somebody who could take something, like that and still find a way to joke about it and laugh, at a time like that. And from then we became, really good friends. And she started telling me her story, and it was very interesting. And I wanted her to share that because she has a passion for helping people who are fighting breast cancer. And when she started telling me her story, it was so interesting, especially how she found out she had it. So with that, I want you to, Toya, tell the audience your whole journey and how you first found out you had breast cancer.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for finding me interesting enough to bring me on your show. I love your show. I like how you talk about, things that are going on in the world and give it a spin because I think that you are absolutely hilarious. And, my cancer journey was like, it's been, documented in different ways, but it's been, it was a little unorthodox. So therefore, like I've been on the news and I've talked about it with different people and everything. And, when you talk about stuff, especially like when you be on the news and you are trying to spread the story when it comes to these big corporations like, American Cancer Society, the Carmanos groups and stuff like that. They don't want you to tell like something like sometimes they want you to edit your story, and so I've never been able to like actually tell like how I actually found out that I had breast cancer or whatever. That's the main thing that I haven't shared. The way I found out it was like in 2015. I was in church, actually. I'm very spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person. And I was in church. I was at Bible study, and my sister called, and she was like, it's this prophet that we need to go see. And I, at the time, I was having relationship problems, and I'm like, I'm in church. I don't want to, I'm praying on this situation I got going on in my life. And she was like, no, girl, you need to come see this prophet. He is, like, right on time with what he says, and, So I ended up going to this prophet, and I was so skeptical because I know a lot of people claim to be prophets and everything, and that they don't be the real deal. But he told me a lot of things, and he was like going around the room, and he was like, each person was probably like 5 of us in the room, and each person he'd go around, and it was like he was having a conversation with us, and he would be like, you are such and such and such and such, and this is about to happen to you. So he had said all of these things about that was going on in my life. And then he, when we were getting ready to leave, he said, I feel heat coming off of your chest. And I'm like, huh? And he was like, I feel heat coming off your chest, he said, and I think that you should go and get it checked out. Well, the thing about it is I had a doctor's appointment like 2 weeks after us having that conversation. So I didn't think much about it or whatever. I was just going for my regular doctor's appointment because a lot of women, you may know that the insurance doesn't offer you to have mammograms until you're at least 40 years old, and unless you have a history of breast cancer in your family. So they don't never want to give you a breast examination. So I was in there, and I have finished up my PAP and everything, and so I told the lady, I said, "Can you show me how to do a breast exam?" And so she said, she showed me how to do the self-examination when you put your hand over your head and you feel your breast and everything. So she felt a little something. She was like, "I'm sure that it's just like a cyst." But I was 38 at the time, so
Look in the camera. You keep looking outside.
So I was 38 at the time, and a lot of women, when we are that young, we'll have like fibroids, like little bitty fibroids, like in our breast. That's like that can make you think that they're like lumps, but they're just like little fibroid cysts or whatever. So anyway, she showed me, she said, "Well, if you feel uncomfortable about this," and I told her the story about a prophet told me that he felt heat coming off my breast. And she said, "Well, if you feel uncomfortable about it, I'm going to send you to get a mammogram." And I had really, really small breasts. Like I had like a B cup breast. And so she said, "And because you have such small breasts, I'm going to send you to get ultrasound as well." So when I went and I had the mammogram, nothing showed up. Absolutely nothing showed up. But when they did the ultrasound, I remember the lady, it was like the nurse, she was like going over and everything, and she ended up getting almost to like where my chest bone was, and she just kind of like concentrated on that area. And she kept on clicking, and to be completely honest, fast forward, that's where my breast cancer was. It was right almost like on my breastbone. Like it was such to the edge of my breast that it was like that. It was considered breast cancer because it was like so close to the edge. I mean, it was on my breast, but it was almost in my cleavage. So it was like my life completely changed. You can never prepare yourself for an illness like cancer. And then it's so amazing to me because breast cancer is like one of the most popular form of cancers, and they like every time in October they give you like everything, all the buildings downtown are pink, and they have the breast cancer walk, and they have all this different stuff. But it's like they don't really think about what that person is going through. They don't really think about your life has completely changed. Like it was like my life went into fast forward motion. I had to, at that point, I was going to doctors, like 2 or 3 doctors a day. And then they start hitting you with, "We want you to have a mastectomy."
But hold on, let's back up a couple of things I want to ask real quick. So you saying that you had no idea was even thinking about having mammograms or nothing until you went to this prophet?
Yeah.
So do you think that those prophets, do you feel like he really was a prophet, or you just feel like he was just had it right that time?
To be completely honest, me personally, I do believe in prophets. I have to. I mean, I'm not gonna say I have to, but for something like that to happen to me, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm a believer now.
It would be hard not to.
Right. And the thing about it is, but I just don't want people to like rush out and like bombard prophets. And if you have a diagnosis, say, "Well, the prophet told me that I'm going to live and to be 60 years old, so I'm going to be okay and I don't have to take this treatment," or whatever. Now, one thing about me that may set me aside from different people is, okay, I feel like the prophet put it to the forefront for me to discover that I had breast cancer. But I am a firm believer in taking the treatments that the doctors say take. I am not an advocate for holistic medicine when it comes to treatments. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that you should eat the way that you should, eat better. I think that your lifestyle should definitely change. But I also believe that if you have breast cancer, brain cancer, leukemia, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, any kind of cancer, I believe that you should do whatever it takes in order for you to live, and that includes going to the doctor and taking that treatment too.
Okay. So when you went in and they actually told you that you had breast cancer, tell me at that moment exactly what went through your mind. Did you feel like, oh, this is it? Or did you feel like, hey, I'm going to beat this? Like, take me to that moment when they told you what was your feeling? What went through your mind?
And this is emotional. But when I first found out, it was like, why me? I had a why me moment, and I deal with a lot of breast cancer people now. They reach out to me, my friends, point them in my direction or whatever, and I don't think there's a person that has got diagnosed with breast cancer. That has got diagnosed with cancer that doesn't have that why me moment. That is going to be your initial thing. Your why me? Like, I eat right, I go to the gym, I do what I'm supposed to do, I keep up with my doctor's appointments, all of that type of stuff. I think that everybody has that. But me, I personally had a why me moment. And I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And it took me probably about a week or so of crying and feeling sorry for myself until I finally, it was like, and now here I go being spiritual again, y'all. But it was like, after that, I was laying there and I was crying, and it was just as clear as anything. I kept on saying, I was laying there and I was like, why me? Why me? And I was looking up at the ceiling, why me? And I heard a voice that said, why not you? And so I had to stop it right then. It was just like
that
somebody.
Empowered you.
Yes. And it said, why not me? And I'm going to tell you one thing. That voice that said, why not you? That voice gave me purpose. It stated my purpose. It stated my purpose. And it ain't nothing like living when you know you got a purpose. So
when from then on, what was, when you found out, you went through your moment, you heard the voice. So take us on that journey so what they suggested first, what you did, chemotherapy, radiation?
Well, first they suggested that, the doctor is, and you're going to get this, when you go to the doctor, they're going to say, mastectomy. That's going to be the first thing they're going to say, mastectomy. And then they're going to tell you that at this point, they're not going to be able to tell you whether you're going to have chemotherapy or not, because they don't want to jump ahead of themselves. But they just tell you, like, as in steps as to what it is that they think that you should do. So, I didn't want to have a mastectomy because at the time I was 38. I'm single. I don't have any children. I'm figuring, let's get this cancer out of here, because they explained to me, now my cancer was a stage 5, which, when the way they measure your stages is by the size of the spot. So mine was the size of a pea, okay? And I got diagnosed on December 9th of 2015, and my cancer was the size of a pea. Okay, so I said, well, I'm gonna have a lumpectomy, and so then I was working, and I'm telling you, my whole journey is like it's so God was just playing a major role in my journey, because it seemed like everywhere I went, I ran into somebody that had cancer. I would go to the CVS and I would end up talking to somebody that had cancer. I remember I was in CVS and this lady said I had one breast removed. She said, and it was the worst mistake I could have ever made, because when I did that, now I have to go back every 3 months to get a mammogram and an ultrasound, and every 3 months I'm feeling like I'm scared again.
So she was basically saying she wish she would just had them both removed.
Yes, Then I ran into my cousin, and
So wait, hold on. Let's back up. Remember that. So that's interesting. So when you have the breast removed, it's not necessarily that because you have it in both breasts. You can have it in one, but they'll remove both.
Right. It's preventive. It's preventative.
Okay.
You know, like how Angelina Jolie, she didn't have cancer at all, but she had the gene, so she had both of her breasts removed. You know, to prevent it from herself from ever having cancer.
So go ahead back to your cousin.
So my cousin came and she had one breast removed and she had to reconstruct it, so you could never even tell that she had breast cancer. But you know, back in the day when like back when I was a child and growing up, breast cancer was like the thing. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna say it was a thing, but most of the people that you know died from cancer in my family. You know what I'm saying? Some form or fashion. So breast cancer was like, we talked about it, but we didn't talk about it. So my cousin, when she said she had breast cancer, she had reconstructive surgery, and you couldn't even tell. But she even told me, she said, you need to have both of your breasts removed. She said, because you don't want to have to go through this every 3 months, because every 3 months you got to go back and get checked. And for the rest of your life, 15 years, 20 years, every 3 months you got to go through going to see if you have breast cancer again.
So did you do chemotherapy and radiation?
I did. I did.
So you did that first, or you had the?
I had the mastectomy first.
Okay.
And because in the beginning they said because my cancer was so small that they doubt that I would have to have chemo. And if I did have chemo, I would probably only have to have one session. Okay. So when they actually got in there, and it just goes to show you that the doctor, they put there, but the doctor really can't tell you without getting, it's God that got the last say. So I went in, I had my mastectomy, and when they shoot a dye in you, and it highlights where the cancer is, like if it's spread into your lymph nodes and everything. And then once it goes into your lymph nodes, it could be anywhere. So I was praying, Lord, please don't let it be in my lymph nodes. That's what I had everybody. Yeah. I told people.
Once it get there.
Yeah. I told everybody, listen, y'all can pray. We ain't going to pray about the that the Lord take the cancer away, because it's here. I want y'all to pray that it ain't going to my lymph nodes. So after I had the cancer, after I had the mastectomy, after the surgery, the first question I asked was, did it go into my lymph nodes? And it had. So I had 8 lymph nodes removed, which is a small number compared to some of my other battle buddies that they've had a lot more than me. But I had 8 lymph nodes removed, and that causes me to have lymphedema. My hands, like this hand over here, is like really big, and it like sometimes it swells up. Yeah. And it like if I even get a paper cut on this hand, I have to go to the hospital. Like any kind of cut or a scrape or anything. That's why I can't have tattoos on here, because if the skin is broken, I don't have any defense to fight off infection. So yeah, when they found out it went into my lymph nodes, I end up having to have 16 chemo treatments. Wow. Yeah, and then so that was to fight off the cancer that was possibly in the rest of my body. And then I had 23 radiation treatments to fight off the cancer that was in that spot. Right. Yeah.
So tell me about, unfortunately, my stepfather was the first person that passed away in '89 from cancer. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Mm-hmm. And he was like 37, 38.
Wow.
And my sister, which was my half-sister, was his daughter with my mom. Mm-hmm. She died a few years ago of cancer as well, around the same age.
Wow.
But I remember going with my stepfather when he was diagnosed to the hospital for his chemo treatments, and I can remember it was rough for him. It was draining. He'd be tired sometimes. He said it was painful. So how was that chemo process for you?
Technology has come leaps and bounds. You know, I don't know how many years ago that was.
That was in 80. He died in 89, but when I was going with him, it was in the early 80s, probably like 81, 82. Yeah, probably like 82.
Yeah, technology has come leaps and bounds when it comes to that. You know, they give you everything possible to make you comfortable with taking chemo. I mean, it is still, they even got now these things that you can put on your head that will stop you from losing your hair. Wow. They're called like freeze caps, like, you know, it freezes your hair follicles so that, because what happens when you have chemo, the follicles just open up and release the hair, right. You know. But they give you anti-nausea medicine. They give you it's different parts. Like for me, when I had my chemo, they had to put me to sleep at a certain point, and then they just give me just enough to put me to sleep. I'll probably be asleep for probably about 20 minutes, and then they administer that, and then they go on. But chemo is, don't get me wrong, it wrecks your body, okay? It does. It definitely wrecks your body. A lot of people complain about dry, patchy skin, and of course your hair falling out, and I have chemo brain, which causes you to forget things and everything. Like I could set something down, and I'd be like, "What? Now, where did I set that down?" And I forget it almost immediately. You know.
I'm glad you told me, because we all just thought you was crazy.
I'm telling you, but chemo wrecks you, but it kills the good stuff and it kills the bad stuff too. You know. So, but
so how was your how often did you have to go?
Well, in the beginning, I was going twice a week. And then after going twice a week, I started going once a week. This dog. So I started going once a week. Yeah, you want one of those, don't you?
You're making all that noise. It's probably going to come through the video, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's the dog. If y'all can hear noise, it's the dog back there.
Right.
So you said you was going how
I was going twice a week.
Twice a week. And
then they cut it down to once a week. And at the very end, I think I was going maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. It was like 3 different series. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the periods changed. And I ended up some of the side effects was kind of crazy. Like I would get neuropathy, which, with your pins and needles in your hands and your feet. And then it was I couldn't touch stuff cold, or I couldn't touch stuff hot because it would burn me, and I couldn't eat stuff cold and hot or whatever. So it was a thing.
So tell me, okay, so you went through the chemo and everything. So tell me about your support system. And how important it is to have a support system, if it's important at all to you.
Listen. You are only there. Okay, when you have a cancer battle, you are what's the rank in the army? Like
the general, a high rank.
Yeah, you the general of the battle, but you cannot go to battle without your army. Right. Okay, it is impossible. A lot of people, when I was going through my battle, they shrugged it off that it wasn't as serious as it was because the fashion that I did my battle in. I never let it stop me. I kept on moving. I was still out and about and doing things and traveling, and I was doing things. But I had a wonderful support group. I had a wonderful support group. I couldn't have done it. I'm not gonna say I couldn't have done it. It would have been a lot harder. It would have been a lot harder. You guys, if you guys, let me tell you, and this is my plea to whoever is watching this. If you know somebody that's going through the battle, don't discount what it is that they going through. It'd be like sometimes that people want you to lay down and die. they want, in order for them to take serious what it is that you're going through. But trust and believe it's a battle. Anything that's dealing with cancer or anything like that I don't care if you got a stage point 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. It is serious, because what that means is that the cancer that they found, that active gene, is a stage 0.5, 1, 2, whatever. But you have the ability to have cancer. Like, you have cancer cells in your body that have went active. So that means that it can pop up anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so don't discount it because they making it look fashionable. They just trying their best to make it through and let life be as normal as they want it to be. But you need somebody sometimes to say things gonna be okay. Because you may be looking like it's going to be, you may be looking on the outside like you got it all, but you just need somebody to say, everything going to be okay. I lost my hair, my eyebrows, everything. And the one thing that really made it better for me is, like, I have a sense of humor. So I was able to joke about it, Yeah. And it would be times like, people will say stuff about, like, one of your eyebrows is one of your eyebrows up higher than the other one, or, you need to straighten that wig out, or snatch my wig off somewhere or whatever. And it's just, you just gotta stay engaged, because if we be by ourselves, sometimes we just get to start feeling, you have them why me moments again.
But it's interesting you said how people may not have thought it was that serious because of your attitude. And I can remember, like, when you find out something like that somebody has cancer, or any kind of disease that could potentially take you out of here, it obviously affects that person who has it the most, because it's their life in jeopardy. But it also really affects the people who love them too, because you're scared of losing them now and all that. So when you said that people may not have taken it as serious because of your attitude, it just reminded me of when my stepfather had it. He was so positive, like, this ain't gonna kill me. I'm gonna beat this. It actually, I know for me, it made me more comfortable. Like, it didn't scare me as much. I was like, he said he gonna beat it. And I was little too. I was young at the time. But I think the attitude of the person having it also, like, it's like y'all help each other. Like, your support system is helping you get through it, but then your attitude, if it's like how yours was, it eases it up a little bit for them too.
Yeah.
Because it's a rough time for everybody.
Yeah, because, like, when me, my sister, now, me and my sister relationship, like,
yeah, she be punky.
Right, she does. She do, but my sister, it's like, I don't want to say, I feel like for me to say my sister wasn't there for me is cruel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say that my sister, but in actuality, she was not there. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't, I love my sister to death, but she wasn't there for me like I felt like I needed her to be. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said, people handle stuff differently.
Yeah, and that's
knowing the relationship that you and your sister have, I can almost, and I don't really know I don't know your sister. I just know it through you, but I can almost guarantee you, hers was probably like almost a denial.
Yes,
she was like, she didn't want to have to deal with it.
Right, and that's what it
that
was.
Her.
And it wasn't until, because my uncle, God bless him, he took me to every chemo treatment that I had to have. And my sister, one day he got sick and he had to have somebody. He was like, I gotta have somebody else take you. So when my sister took me to that chemo treatment, it changed the whole dynamics of how she felt at that point. It was like a light turned on for her. She had to see it. Yeah. She had to see what it is that I went through.
Reality hit. Like, I think she probably was just. Some people handle things if I don't face it on it to go away or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was probably really hard for her.
Yeah,
To
I
deal
believe
with that.
so.
And
I believe
just
so.
Not wanting to face it.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know, people just, like I said, they don't take it as serious as that is. And, you know, it'd be scary. But I had so much support when it came to like my bike community, my sorority community, like my friends in general, Facebook, everything. Like it was just like people were always like I documented and shared my story. I wasn't one of those people that was like secretive about it, because that's what really brings me to what my purpose is. I feel as though part of my purpose is right now with the Bald Head Truth and everything is that I share information and I share as to what I was going through, and I'm encouraging other people to share their stories, because you never know, it may help somebody else that's hearing what you're going through, you know?
So real quick, tell everybody what the Bald Head Truth is.
Well, the Bald Head Truth is something that I am trying to put together that to be like an information system, like a forum where people that has different forms of cancer, not only breast cancer, but I want to discuss illnesses that children go through when it comes with dealing with cancer, alopecia and stuff like that. I want to have a forum where people can come together and they can discuss what it is like that they found out. Yeah.
Go ahead.
People think that they find out that, like, just say for instance for me, I was scared to smoke marijuana when I was going through my battle. It was really, really, like, I was scared. Like, I'm thinking, if I smoke marijuana, I'm gonna puke. I just knew it, and I am glad to say during my whole cancer treatment, I did not puke, not one time. But I didn't know that the other uses for it was the fact that it was going to build my appetite, you know what I'm saying? And the nausea that I had, it was going to stop that nausea from happening. I didn't realize, like, everybody told me to take lemon drops and all of that type of stuff. That didn't work for me. Then I was off work for a whole year. I didn't know that it was resources that you can reach out to the American Cancer Society, that they will help pay your bills. They will assist with having your house clean. They would come to take you to doctor's appointments. They would help you if you have children, help, give finances for stuff like that. So I don't want, the Bald Head Truth is what I'm trying to do is like things that you can find and you can bank on it. You can go to my website and you can bank on, if you go to this site, you can find someone to help you during your battle. You can find someone. My phone is open to you 24 hours a day. If you got a question, if you can call me, if you need to call me and talk to me about what's going on, if I can't help you, I want to be able to point you in the right direction. Like, people a lot of times, like, I had shaved my head and everything, and people was thinking that it was the Bald Head Truth was about me, and it really wasn't. It's not about me. It's about the battle. It's the beauty in the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just basically what I'm trying to do is just be able to help people. If they want to wear wigs, then we're gonna have people on there that donate wigs. If you need help, like I said, with providing help with finding a different doctor, if you're not comfortable with your oncologist, your radiologist, then here's a help in your area that might be able to help you. That's what I'm trying to do.
And when you say, you want to help people, I saw firsthand, your passion and your heart for helping people, because we were all in LA a couple of years ago for a bike function, and one of our club brothers, was it his cousin or sister?
It was his cousin, yeah.
It was his cousin. Mm-hmm. She was in the hospital in LA battling breast cancer. Mm-hmm. And he told her, was talking about it, and Toya was like, I want to go see her. She cut her weekend short from having fun to go visit somebody that she didn't even know. She had just heard about this person, and she went to the hospital to see the lady, and I remember you telling me like it was a good visit. Huh?
Yeah, let me tell you, It was a wonderful visit. And that visit did more for me than anything because it really made me see what I need to be doing. And I'm so that young lady, she was about 23 or 24 years old, and she did not want to go through any of the treatment. She didn't want to have a mastectomy. She didn't want to take chemo. She didn't want to take radiation. And when I tell you that her cancer was so bad that it had her breast looking like a cauliflower, like it was bad, y'all. It was just deforming, and she refused to. And I'm telling you, I begged her and I pleaded with her. And you know how you on Facebook, when you see pictures that you took a year before, they come back on your line and say this happened on this day last year. Well, on the same exact day that picture came across my thing that I took a picture with her in LA, he text messaged me and said they were putting her in hospice. Wow. That her cancer, the exact same day, that her cancer had went to her brain. And I told her, I said, listen, if you don't have this, do this treatment. She was drinking her little green drinks, and I'm going to do it the holistic way. I said, I'm telling you, if you don't do it, it's going to go to your brain. I said, and you talking about a painful death? Because it had got to the point where I was trying to talk to her, and it was like I almost felt like I had to scare her, Yeah. And he sent me a text message. He said exactly what you said. It went to her brain. And honestly, and it's crazy that you even remember that, but I honestly do everything that I do. I do this for her.
Really?
I swear I do.
Because that was kind of like your first.
That was my first.
Your first.
That was my very
first. That's what really
first.
kicked off of really wanting to help people.
That is my thing. Like, I had reached back out to her mother. Her mother named Betty Jo. And I had reached out to her, and she was like, the Lord is good, and she is healed and everything, and, and I would keep in contact with her mother. And see, the thing about it is with her, the reason why she didn't want to have breast cancer is because her mother had breast cancer twice, okay? So her mother had breast cancer twice, and the second time she had chemo, she lost her hair, and it never came back. So she didn't want to take it, right? So, but yeah, I do all this because of that young lady.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I admire your your heart that you have for helping people. And that's why I wanted to do the interview with you. And hopefully somebody's gonna watch this that, if just one person gets some kind of inspiration for it, it'd be worth the time. I had to sit here next to you.
It's the best part of your day.
But and again, that's what I'm about, and that's what I want my page to be about. Is just helping people, helping our people, because we need it. We need people that's going to help bring awareness for everything.
And let me say this. One of the things that's like crazy that I say to people all the time, and I don't know percentages because I don't care about what the percentages say in the papers and in the books and all that type of stuff. But you remember back in the day, you used to hear about us dying from HIV. And every time you flipped on TV, you seen, go get tested, go get tested. You used to hear about us dying from like heart attacks, and that's still relevant. That's still like a big part of the black community. But nowadays, it is cancer, breast cancer, like it is, and it's so, and then another thing, let me say this. And this might sound crazy. I hope I'm not coming too hard. But a lot of us black people don't know our family and our family roots and our family history. You know what I'm saying? So it's your responsibility to go into the doctor and find out what it is, like to get tested and get your genes. They had the genetic testing. It's your responsibility. Go to the doctor and lie to them and tell them that you got a history of cancer, so they give you a breast exam. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, it be mama's baby's daddy, maybe. Okay, right. So for real, you need to go and find out what it is. I mean, what's going on with your bodies, because, and then another thing, can I get? When you women is laying up with these men, I'm sorry. I'm serious. When you ladies is laying up with these dudes, y'all need to know what their medical history is before you decide to start a family with these men. Because you might be you might have, be thinking about having a baby with somebody who has not only cancer, but any other something that's real prevalent. Prevalent, is that the word? Is that a word?
What'd you say?
Prevalent.
Prevalent, yeah.
Prevalent. You might end up being with somebody that has something that's another illness, but cancer they making a lot of money off of cancer, y'all. They making a lot of money off of this, and prevention is what you're gonna do, because I'm telling you, when I was going through my thing, they was looking at me like, oh, insurance, oh yeah, we're gonna have you go over here, we're gonna have you go over here, we're gonna have these doctors, and I'm like, it ain't no such thing as a second opinion. Right. Because the second opinion, the doctors that's giving you the second opinion is looking at it like, ching.
All about money.
Yes. They looking at you like this. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't have this treatment, because I'm going to tell you that doctor over there ain't giving you the best treatment, but I want you to come over here and get it. It's all about the money. And the better the insurance is, the more money they get. And then another thing, they give you this medication and all of this type of stuff, or they give you you'll have a lump, and then they'll tell you, well, we gonna watch it. Nah, we ain't gonna watch it. You gonna take this out. Because they be looking for return customers. Then they put you on this medication that they tell you you're gonna be on for 10 years after. Because I'm on medication, tamoxifen. Until I changed my eating habit. I am now a plant-based diet. I am not following the plant-based diet, thanks to my friend here.
You better take that damn medicine.
I know, but it's like they give you the medicine, tamoxifen, and they put you on it for 10 years, and it's wrecking you. It's wrecking your body. You know what I'm saying? It is I don't know about the next person. Like, it was different medicine that they was putting me on, and they had me. It was giving me hot flashes. It was giving me, be frank here, it will give you hot flashes, mood swings, vaginal dryness, all of that type stuff that was going on. You go to the doctor and he'd be like, they're turning you into an 80-year-old woman. Wow. Because my cancer was estrogen positive. So they have to stop everything that your body, producing this estrogen. But I'm trying to tell y'all, early detection is the key. They tell you that, you're supposed to give yourself breast exams and all of that. They tell you that you're supposed to give yourself breast exams and all of that type of stuff. But insist on a mammogram and an ultrasound. If they send you for a mammogram, make sure that you get an ultrasound too. Because
the mammogram didn't catch yours.
No.
It was an ultrasound.
Right. Because the mammogram it was like my mammogram, it picked up a cyst. I had a cyst, but as soon as they put the needle in it, it ruptured. So they were satisfied with that. And then when they gave me the ultrasound, they saw a little bitty spot. And it was like, thank God her name was Annie, that she was a thorough ultrasound person. But I am blessed.
So tell me, what was your hardest part of the journey?
The hardest situation for me was when I lost my hair. That was like the hardest. But it was like, and that's another reason why I want to tell people, like, when I lost my hair, I was so hurt. I was so hurt about it. And I ain't take no pictures. I didn't even take pictures when I lost my hair because I didn't want nobody to take pictures of me. But now that it's over with, I wish I had took pictures, because that was when I was the most beautiful. I was a warrior.
At that time, you was probably more focused on living.
Yeah, Yeah.
Or were you just that vain?
I was just that vain. I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling you, because I was doing the treatments. I was doing that.
Well, we got Photoshop now, so maybe they can put my head on your head now. We can pretend those pictures from back then.
Right, I swear. But honestly, like, what I want women to know is that it's only a meantime thing. You know, like you're doing chemo and you may lose your hair, but it's only for a short period of time. It's like you're gonna get over this hump. It's gonna grow back. It's gonna, it's gonna grow back. It's not worth losing your life over being so vain about some hair. You know what I'm saying? So the beauty is in the battle. I'm telling you. I remember it's certain things that you go through in life and you look back on it and you say, I'm so glad that I went through that in order to get to where I am today, because you wouldn't appreciate it. Because I appreciate life right now so much more. I was telling a friend of mine, as a matter of fact, the guy who I'm dating right now, you wouldn't have liked who I was before I went through this, because it has made me a little bit more humble. It has made me a little bit more thankful, grateful, all of that. It made me better. I wouldn't do it over. I mean, I wouldn't do it any differently. I wouldn't wish... I don't, like I told my sister, I'm glad it was me. I'm glad it wasn't her or my dad or my nephews or anybody, because I don't feel like they may have been strong enough to handle what it was that I went through. But
well, they say God, he not gonna put no more on you than you can bear.
Yes.
And it seems like you've gotten a purpose out of it.
Yes. And it ain't nothing like living with purpose.
Yeah.
It ain't.
Yeah, I applaud you for you getting out there and sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, what would you tell somebody who may be finding out right now that they have cancer?
Go through the stages and know that it's just a stage. Go on ahead and feel sorry for yourself, but don't let that last for no longer than a week, okay? Mourn for a week and then get yourself together and get your battle gear on and know that it's time to get busy, because you don't have time to sit and think about it. Don't be unrealistic. I was so like, I don't want to get my breast cut off. I just felt like I was young. I didn't want to. I felt my body was going to be deformed and everything. And before I had my mastectomy, I was a B cup. Now I'm a double D. Okay.
I was waiting for that. Oh,
yeah, man. I'm a double D. Okay. And they put these puppies back on, and you wouldn't. I mean, I can get nipples put back on. I don't have nipples. I didn't choose to put nipples back on. I just got the scars because I'm embracing my scars. But they can put your nipples back on, and they'll tattoo them, and they'll look just like normal boobs again. But why would I get, after everything that I've been through, why would I get normal nipples? I'm going to get me some flowers or something like that, because I'm special. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, short bust.
But I just feel like, just don't worry. I mean, don't sweat the small stuff. Living is the goal. To live and be cancer-free is the goal. So you are with cancer now, and you have to get to the point. Let me look at the camera. This living, you have cancer. This is a small part of your life. This is the goal that you're trying to get to. A full life. Do whatever you got to do to get here. If they tell you got cancer, that means that you got cancer in your body. So get it out. Get anywhere that it might go, get it out. And I'm talking about breasts. I'm talking about hysterectomy. See, hysterectomies used to be real taboo. You ain't talk about hysterectomies back in the day. My mom used to say, don't never tell no man you get a hysterectomy, because they be feeling like they ain't hitting nothing.
Y'all see where it goes through this one here.
But hey, they ain't hitting nothing anyway. Nah. But for real, it's not like that anymore, but anywhere that you feel like you can get, to me, that's the main things. You got to get them breasts removed. I got a friend of mine, she was like a F cup yesterday. She got her breast removed. It happened when I was in Arizona. We was in Arizona. She called me and she said, I'm going to get my breast removed. Because at first she was going to get a lumpectomy. Cornisha Robinson. Hey, girl. But yesterday she posted on my Bald Head Truth page, which is on Facebook.
Y'all go check it out.
Yeah, and she posted on there, today is the day I'm getting my titties removed. And so I told her, you ain't going to leave the hospital with none. They gonna put that, and they move, they functional and everything, okay?
She's so proud of them things.
I
know.
So
proud of them.
And then listen, I'm gonna tell you this: when I die, the only thing in the casket ain't gonna be sagging is these. They gonna be sitting up still the same way they is now, okay? Yep. So.
Well, I really enjoyed this interview with you, and it was a special one too, because I didn't say it earlier, but my mother-in-law passed away from breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
And it took her fast.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't do the breast removal. She did the
lumpectomy.
Yeah, she still passed. I think it was like within 6 months.
Yeah. See, you gotta get that early detect. What was her stage when she found out?
I don't remember, but it was pretty aggressive.
Yeah. See, that's what mine was.
My wife, she was really wanting her to do it.
Yeah. Because back in the day, like I said, how my mother said about the hysterectomy. Like back in the day, you be feeling like a man ain't gonna want me, But nowadays, they don't care, sisters. Okay. Get them things taken off. If this wasn't PG-13, I'll whip it out and show you how it was.
Oh, no,
but seriously.
See, this one here, this is what I love about it. She's so open with it. and having a conversation like this with somebody who's gone through that and can joke about it and stuff, I'm sure it's going to help somebody.
I hope so. I hope so.
And kind of closing, I want you to kind of just share with us the main people who really helped you through, because I know a couple of them who we talked about, and just give them a shout out of the ones who really
J Boogie. That's my number one road dog, Jerbina Sturdivant. She was, let me tell you, we was slipping and sliding on them ball ties all through Detroit. Okay, she was taking me to my appointments, and Penella Cruz, P. Cruz, she was a member of Clutch and Chrome. She went through this battle, and if she got sick, I got sick. If the doctor took off her medicine, I was gonna stop taking mine. Like me and her, we went through the battle together, and my uncle, who he took me to every doctor's appointment. The teams at every my dad. Let me tell you about my dad, and I'm not gonna hold y'all long, but my dad, when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, I think my dad was like 72, somewhere around there. He was in his 70s. I know that. This man, he would come in the middle of the night. If I was sick, he was coming. He would cry to himself. He worked. I had horrible insurance when this all went down. And my dad, I had a company. We did trucks. My dad went up under like my company. Like he had a trucking company for years and years. He would go up under and made it seem like he worked for me in order to pay. So my company would still be making money in order for it to pay for my insurance. Wow. He worked for me in order for me to be off. And when I tell you my dad had the little raggediest truck, it ain't had no air conditioner in it. It was people used to come in like, I don't see how your father still drive that truck. But when you are determined, and when you a father's love or a parent's love, you cannot compare it to anything because I was his cub and he was the bear, and Papa Bear took care of me. My dad took care of me, but it was, my dad, my sister, my family, the laughs, the biker community. Y'all was the greatest. I'm telling you. My sorority, everybody. I feel like I'm up here accepting the Grammy. First of all, I like to give honor to God, who was ahead of my life. But I'm telling you, and then just talking to other people, like when I used to go to the chemo centers, and let me say this, y'all, and I'm not discrediting on American Cancer Society and Carmanos and all that type of stuff. But if y'all want to help a breast cancer, or no, cancer is more than pink. So if y'all want to help somebody that has cancer, go to the cancer center where they're getting chemo. Go to those centers. You can take them blankets, lunches, whatever, lemon drops. Because by the time when you go on all these breast cancer walks, by the time it filter down and actually get to it's a smidgen of what it is that y'all donating. So go to the centers. And I'm telling you, it was a lady that used to come to my center that it used to help me a lot. She used to have a dog. She had a little Pomeranian, and she would dress him up, and she would bring him there, and he'd jump up in our laps and everything. That made our day, So just the little things, just a phone call, and, But I just want to, like I said, I want people to reach out to me for information if y'all need help or resources. The Bald Head Truth. That's what I'm here for.
I'll post our info in the link. For the page, and so in closing, what would you tell people who are supporting somebody through? What would be your advice to help them through?
If you ever seen a cheerleader when you was in high school or at a professional basketball game, football game, or whatever, that's your job now, to be a cheerleader. To make that person feel on their worst days that they are beautiful and that they can conquer the world. That's all they need, is somebody to say, you can do this. I remember one time my sister told me, she said, it was another guy, this guy, he told me, I was feeling sorry for myself. He said, I said, he called me and I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm checking hospice out for you. Because if you going to die, we might as well make sure you get somewhere nice. So, But don't let them feel sorry for themselves, y'all. The support group, y'all job is to be cheerleaders. So that's what y'all job is. So that's it.
All right. Well, I enjoyed the interview.
I did too.
I hope you was able to get everything off your new breasts.
Yeah, off my chest. They move, see?
But I know it's something, we always see you on doing your interviews on HDDMZ, the bike set stuff. And,
yeah.
You're always interviewing somebody else. And, you have a great story to tell. And now you were able to tell it. Now you on the other side.
I know, right? This was so fun.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be doing some other stuff together in the future, but
we got to think of a name of a show, because it ain't gonna be We Gonna Talk. You gotta have my name in it.
Change my show.
It gotta have my name in it somewhere. Please. Too.
We gotta know. It's my show.
Yeah, maybe we should do it. He said, she said. We gonna talk. He said, she said. Something. Got to put me in it some kind of way.
You in it now. You on the camera. So anyway, thank you for doing it, and we're going to try to help you push the Bald Head Truth. I'm going to stay on you about it, and I'm going to stay on you. We're not going to tell what the story is about because nobody's stealing. Your idea for your book,
yes.
I think it's great, and your need to push forward with
it.
It's a children's book
yes.
concerning cancer. We're not going to tell you what the storyline is, but it's great. She has a great idea for it, and I think she will do great. So I'm going to stay on her. about doing all
Coming
that.
soon. Coming soon. It's gonna come soon.
So in closing, I'm gonna let you close it out. Say what you want to say to the people, and we're gonna close this out.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. We've been trying to do this for a very long time, and I just hope that this video or holds y'all interest in order to get some very good information that we said here in this video and everything. And early detection saves lives. Go through the steps of whatever it is that you have to go through. Every time you see us together, we're not going to be dwelling on this breast cancer thing or the cancer thing. We're going to be talking about other real life things that you know, we feel that needs to be addressed from his point of view and my point of view and whatever. But I'm just glad that I was given this opportunity to talk about this today. So thank you a million times. I know I made you look good, but so he's gonna thank me. I know. You don't have to. I know how you feel already. That I'm such a blessing to you. So
God,
anyway, y'all have a great day, and go get some titties checked.